Hello, everyone. It's Angela Priven here from Do It Yourself Health, and I am here today with some really good news. So I promised that I would give you my SIBO update. 2 months ago, I tested myself for SIBO, and I was very, very positive. And this is my test right here. You can't really see the numbers, but you can see the chart. It's very, very high for hydrogen, and I was also on the high side for methane gas. And I was actually on, my values were pretty high. 76, 101, 97. I was very, very positive for hydrogen. And what it tells me is that probably my duration of healing SIBO would be a little bit on the longer side. So I'm someone who has been working with people for years, helping them fix their own SIBO. So I knew the protocol to use, and I was not happy to have SIBO, but happy to test out the protocols on myself because I could be my own best client because I could follow all my protocols impeccably. So that's what I did. I took my herbs for about 6 weeks, and my herbs included a berberine supplement, oregano, olive leaf extract, a supplement called biocidin, which helps regulate the immune system. I also took some cinnamon. I also took digestive enzymes, as well as a prokinetic called Motil Pro. So that was the supplements that I designed for myself. And then I also followed a low FODMAP diet, which is a low fermentable and relatively low carb diet. So I did that for 6 weeks, and then I stopped all my herbs so that I could retest 2 weeks later and see if it had been working. Now, again, about a month into this, my symptoms went away completely, and my symptoms were mostly bloating and head fog. And they went away completely about a month in. But I still had no idea what my levels were. Sometimes your symptoms go away with the diet, but you still have an active infection. So I wasn't going to change anything until I could see the written results on what my levels were after testing at the 6-week mark. So I just got my results back, and I actually am kind of shocked because I am SIBO clear. I do not have SIBO anymore. My test results are completely normal. Here they are, and as you can see, the levels of hydrogen are much lower, almost no methane. And this was only after 6 weeks of treatment, which is kind of amazing because, like I said, I started with really, really high levels. So I think my story is pretty inspiring because it shows that if you really are dedicated, that you really can make a lot of progress in SIBO. One of the things that I think really gets people's confidence down is they do a lot of research online, and they find out that that SIBO could be chronic, and it has a very high relapse rate. And just knowing that can really get to your head and make you second guess everything you're doing, get nervous every time you eat something, freak out and panic every time you have sort of a detox reaction, something that's called a healing crisis, where you're eating all the right things, doing all the right things, and maybe you have some bloating or a headache or some flu-like symptoms, which is part of the healing process, and happened to me. And this is where it's really important to have some professional support, because you can get some help and try and differentiate if it is a healing crisis or if you're on the wrong track. But if you're working with someone, then that would be the best way to sort of ground into the reality of what's going on with you, instead of going into panic land and freaking out and changing things that are working perfectly. So I wanted to tell you about the other things that I did, other than diet and supplements, that were just as important, the self-care aspect. I started taking saunas. So that was detoxing and doing acupuncture once a week, and also keeping up with my practice of Qigong, as well as doing massage. So those are the things that I did. But also, one of the most important things that I did was reduce the stress in my life. I really scaled back down on my coaching, and that really helped reduce my stress tremendously. And I think that was one of the things that really helped speed up my recovery. Now, my recovery is much faster than I expected. I really didn't expect to be clear in 6 weeks. Based on my numbers, I thought it's supposed to take me closer to 5 months to clear it, because you clear it pretty much 20 parts per million every 30 days. So if you do the math, that would be, yeah, at least about 4 months of healing and herbs and diet just to get to SIBO free. And I managed to do it in 6 weeks because I really focused on clearing my life out and focusing on my self-care, prioritizing sleep reduction, taking really good care of myself, and then keeping really positive mentally and emotionally, which I think is one of the most important parts of SIBO, because when we start worrying about the healing process, it can completely jeopardize and slow down our healing process. So that was basically my secret of healing SIBO. And I wanted to put it out there because I think it's really important to have a positive success story, because all you read when you do research, and believe me, I did a lot of research, is all the negatives, how SIBO is really tough. And I think that it's, even though it may be true, I think that it really creates a bad emotional landscape to approach SIBO. And that's why I say always get some help, some very, very positive help, because you need support along the way, because it's the emotional, mental aspect. I think that was the toughest on my journey. And I just worked with myself, but I am a pro, so I think that I'm kind of the exception to this rule of getting help. So anyway, I hope that you are making progress on your journey. And if you want to come visit me over at DIY Health Blog, happy to answer any questions there and give you the support that you need. Take care on your healing journey.